Chapter 9. About Clanging Swords and Grindstones. How did you figure out where the cellar is, Master Xanthos? Flavius asked, almost with reverence. Udo has the gift of observation, Xantippus said. He gave me 2 valuable leads. You remember, I hope, that with an irregular triangle, if you know the size of 2 angles, you also know the size of the third. The boys nodded. Triangles were Xantippus's favorite theme. Aiding me as well was the fact that I know Rome and its environs thoroughly. He pointed his cane at a corner of the cave. I see your schoolwork flung over there in that filthy corner. Bring me a piece of chalk right away. Antonius jumped up and brought Xantippus some chalk. He handed it over reluctantly. He preferred saving it to beautify several garden walls with his name on the way home. Now pay attention, Xantippus said. He stepped up to a smooth bit of the rock wall and scratched an M on it with the chalk. The M here is the second milestone in the Via Stellaris. It's right beside the Porta Stellaris. Porta Stellaris is the big open gate Udo told about. There is no other gate there. Right behind it the cemetery begins. Xantippus wrote a C on the wall, then drew a huge circle around the C. The cemetery is surrounded on the north, east, and south by sparsely populated fields. Thus, on his flight, Udo could have run only to the southwest, and that means down Long Street in that quarter of the city where the tall new apartment buildings begin. I was there last month and looked around. They're located between the Viminal and Coronal hills. Now, to the noises Udo heard. Close by he heard horses neighing, and he heard a grinding sound too. That's the famous mill in the area. The millstones are pulled by horses, thus the neighing. Now I know as well that the house with the cellar he slept in must be near the mill. The question remains, is the house before or after the mill when you're coming from Long Street? That's why I asked him about the smell of mimosa, because the building before the mill lies right across from a soap factory. It belongs to Melanus, the freed slave. He got rich by putting out a soap that smells like mimosa for women's delicate skin. Udo says he almost got sick from the odor. You see, the wind came out of the west last night and blew the odor of mimosa directly into the cellar of the house across the street. Julius made himself heard. Excuse me, Master Xanthos, but how do you know where the wind was coming from in the middle of the night? Because I had to get up in the middle of the night to make the window hanging stop flapping. It's a west window. That's how I know where the wind was coming from. Are you satisfied? Certainly, Master Xanthos. I'm glad. What was the meaning of the clanging swords Udo heard, and the shout, Hail Emperor! We about to die salute you, Mucius asked. That did stop me a minute, Xantippus admitted. There was only one solution. Above the cellar is a school for gladiators. Several gladiators were practicing sword fighting and some were trying to memorize, Hail Emperor! We, about to die, salute you. Gladiators may be looked upon as heroes, but not as intellectual giants. Following tradition at the start of every match in the arena, they have to honor the emperor by walking up to his box and shouting, Hail Emperor! We, about to die, salute you. There's only one thing I don't understand, Master Xanthos, Publius said. How could Udo hear all these noises? Isn't everybody sleeping at midnight? No doubt you are, Xantippus grumbled. You even sleep at your classes during the day. All the slaves in the factory begin work at midnight. All right, now stop your questions. On your feet and get the letter. If the gods have been merciful, in the meantime, maybe nobody has found the cloak. I don't think they have, noble master, Udo spoke up. The cloak is well hidden in a corner behind 2 barrels. Once you have the letter, come immediately to my apartment, Xantippus told his pupils. Come even if you don't have it. May we open it if we find it, Julius asked. No, I want to study the seal carefully first to assure its authenticity. What should we do with Udo meanwhile? Rufus asked. Leave him here. We may need him yet. Bring him something to eat first before you come to see me. Xantippus went to the doorway. By the way, I will be passing the Ark of Triumph of Augustus and will pay the vendor for the honey. He shouldn't be out of pocket. I will then tell you what I paid for it. He tossed Antonius's chalk on a crate, breaking it into many tiny pieces. Then he disappeared. My chalk! What a dirty trick, Antonius wailed. The honey can cost us a bar of gold, Julius sighed. Maybe we can pay off Xantippus in installments, Flavius suggested. Xantippus is the wrong shop for that, Publius said with a sneer. He was mad because Xantippus had berated him. Get a move on, Mucius ordered, to Long Street.